Hi guys, I'm Christina Chichura. I'm here with Meehan. She is an abstract artist, a very talented artist, and you're welcome. Thank you very much for meeting with me today. You brought this beautiful and very unique art. I see that you have not only you have paintings, you also have a lot of sculptures, really interesting and unique pieces over there.
Yes, this is actually a sculpture. This is 16 pounds. This is a heavy one. This is made out of ceramic. It's entirely clay, and then I painted, I glazed it, and I fired it. And it actually won first place in a gallery show out on Long Island in 2011. This year was the first time I ever lit them up, but it's interesting working with lights. I actually have some sculptures that I put lights into, because I like playing with those kind of forms. And then this is just another one, kind of like that other board. And then this is actually a little clay sculpture. This is just made entirely out of clay, and then I paint it. And then I spray paint it clear, so it has this glossy effect. And they basically look like little cities, and they look like little worlds. And I don't know, I just find them so playful and fun. The point of my work is that it's supposed to spread joy and imagination and fun. If somebody looks at any of my pieces and smiles or laughs or brightens their day, it's done its job. That's its only purpose. Any of these pieces, their only purpose is to make people happy. This is actually a photography. What I did is that I cut up bell peppers, you know those peppers from the store?
Yes.
And then I just took pictures of them from the inside when they were cut at unusual angles. And it basically came up with these abstract forms, and it just sort of showcases how abstract forms can be found in everyday life. And that's why this one is called Organically Abstract. So, and then these are just drawings. These are pencil sketches that I did. So this one's called Violin Eyes, so you can see that. And then this one is called Lethal Joker. Then this one is actually acrylic and oil mixed together, and it's called Trading United Spaces. And it's a little bit more minimalistic in style. And this is from 2007, so this one's actually quite old.
So when did you start making art?
I started making art. I've always been, drawing when I was a child, or, painting. I guess I started seriously getting into it when I was 12. And then when I was going for my bachelor's degree, I have a bachelor's degree in English. And I did not go for art, because I thought that I could make a better living with, an English degree.
Right.
So basically, I just took a lot of art classes while I was in school. So I went to New York Institute of Technology, but I went across the way to CW Post, which is now LIU College. And that's where I took a lot of art classes. And one of the classes I took was a ceramics class under Frank Olt, who was a fantastic teacher and an artist in his own right. And I actually made this in that class, and that ended up winning first place. And then I just continued on with art myself. A lot of it is self-taught. A lot of it, I've always been going to museums. My parents are very big into art. So they always were taking me to the Museum of Modern Art or the Guggenheim. And modern art was a big influence. Like you could see Moreau and Calder's influence in these. And they're kind of like my heroes. And then these are just kind of unique, and I just started them. And I just thought, you know what, they're happy. Anybody can do it. It promotes recycling, which is great.
That's true.
The environment.
So which products do you like to work most with?
All have their own enjoyable elements to them, and I kind of like working though the best with these boards because they allow me to mix everything. I can mix painting, I can mix sculpture, I can mix, photography. You put even little pictures into these. So probably the boards are my favorites. But I do have a special place in my heart for ceramics. I love working with clay. It's really fun.
Do you make any vases, or is it more abstract usually?
I can make vases and stuff, but I generally like to stick to abstract form just because it's more fun. But definitely like vases and pottery, that's something I would love to get into in the future. I'd love to do more commercial work eventually.
So what is your creative process like?
Well, it depends on the type of work. Like, for example, with these are just pencils. These are just colored pencils. So with that, I could even just be sitting there watching TV and just draw it out, really easy and really organically. Something like these obviously takes more time. So with these, a lot of times I'll sketch an idea down, and then I'll look at the materials that I have. Sometimes I go out and I buy little bits and pieces. The 99-cent store is my best friend when it comes to getting materials for beads and stuff. But for the most part, like these, I do plan out a little bit more. Like I will sketch them and I have an idea of what I want to do. But I find that when I'm actually sitting there and working with the materials, my initial plans will often change. But these definitely take more time. Now, something like this, because it's massive, something like this, I basically start out just molding clay, and I know I want to do something abstract, but I don't know what I want to do, and it just kind of works out. And the same thing goes for these. When I build these, I kind of have an idea that, okay, I want it to be this space, and I want it to be this color, and I want it to look, I want to have, this, like for example, I want to have an element of a little, like, this I call a building. I want to have a building here, and I want to have a little river here. But again, they change a lot as I work on them. So my process is very free falling, I guess you would say, and free flowing, I guess would be the more proper term. And it's very abstract thought, and that's why it works, because they are abstract pieces.
Beautiful pieces, really, very unique.
Thank you. I'm so glad you like them. It's nice to have somebody appreciate my work.
Of course.
Because it is kind of weird, and some people that are more into like trees and flowers and people, they look at this and they're like, oh my god, what is this?
Right,
crazy.
right.
And I actually write children's books.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, aside from being an artist, I'm a writer. I publish novels.
Wow, that's impressive.
I have a play ready for production. I just started getting into screenplays, and now I have some children's books published. I'm actively seeking an agent, but I have some published on an ebook publisher, which is fantastic, and I have 2 physical ones pending with a small Canadian publisher in 2016. But basically, when I write children's books, I'm very inspired by colors and illustrations. Even though I'm not an illustrator, I'm very inspired by that world, and I find that this is a nice way to translate that. And I'm inspired by childhood as well, and you can see that from these.
Yes.
Because I think, even for adults, it's great to have that playful element and that relaxation. I think that it's relaxing to look at these pieces, but it also brings joy and fun. We need that in today's world. A lot of people are very stressed.
I completely agree, especially in New York, so grungy.
It's very stressful. So, people look at this and it makes them smile and makes them relax for a minute. It's worth it.
So I noticed you have beautiful nails. So you did them yourself,
yes.
right?
My nails are my canvases. What's funny is that I actually keep pretty calm with most of my makeup. Sometimes I do crazy eyeshadow, but I love doing crazy nails. I actually have a website. I actually am a member of Nails Magazine.
You are?
It's a website that basically they give us for free. You can sign up and create a nail profile, and I'll include the link in the video below. But I basically do these nails like every week to 2 weeks. It depends on how long they last, and then I put the picture of the nails up there.
So what are your plans for the future? Do you see yourself being more of like a playwright or an artist or a YouTuber showing how to do nails?
Believe it or not, what I'd really love to do in the future is that I want to be a toy and game designer. I deal a lot in the toy world, toy and game industry, and that's where I see myself making a steady career for myself, either in PR for toys and games or as a toy and game designer, hopefully.
It's a good idea,
That's really what I want to do. I plan to keep making the art because this is a wonderful hobby, and it's something that, I have sold some pieces, so I guess I'm semi-professional. It's something that I'm definitely going to keep doing. And then I'm always going to creative write. I hope to really branch out into more plays and screenplays soon. Through my job at Examiner and Access, it gives me a lot of, leads, and it gives me a lot of connections, and that's good, and I hope to continue with that.
You also design shoes.
Yes, I do. I take shoes that have, I basically buy shoes online, and then I'll remake them. And I basically do these crazy glitzy patterns, like I'm wearing a pair today, and I turn them gold and green.
Wow.
And then I put rhinestones all over them, and I put like little swirly stickers all over them. As I said, I'd like to get into more commercial stuff eventually, like vases and plates, but I'd also love to design shoes one day.
So the last question that I want to ask you is, what do you think are the most important 3 qualities that the artist should possess?
Definitely playfulness. You definitely should make your, some artists like more serious work, but to me, I love, the equality of being playful and being joyful and wanting to spread joy and happiness and create things that do that. The other quality that you have to possess is that you have to be very flexible, because sometimes when you're building something, it's not going to turn out just the way that you initially imagined, but you have to realize that sometimes when you're working, you'll get better ideas when you're actually assembling a piece than you did when you were just writing it down on paper, and you have to be accepting of that, and the piece will come out much, much better. The final quality is just to be very open to other people's work and other people's opinions, because as I said before, art is very subjective, and something that you really are proud of and you love, somebody else might not love. So you have to be aware of that, and just don't be as critical of your work also, because sometimes you might have a piece that you really don't like, and you say, oh, I can't believe I did this, it didn't turn out good, but then somebody else might look at it and go, wow, that's beautiful. So don't be afraid to show off your work.
Thank you, Megan, very much for meeting with me today, talking about your art, beautiful work.
It was a
nail
pleasure.
designs.
Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to have somebody who's willing to, interview artists and give them more exposure. I really appreciate it. There should be more people like you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Megan.
Okay, well, thank you for watching.